Welcome to My Mythical Meta. My name is Travis, and I'm joined by Randy.
Hey.
And Derek.
Hello.
The original Three Musketeers. The boys are back.
The boys are back in town.
I was trying to see who would crack first, and it was Randy.
The boys are back. Just the three of us today for this week's news from the Warfront. We found a couple of fun posts on our D&D this week. This is going to be a role-playing week for us. We found a post on our D&D, and it's called, What Do You Do After a TPK? This is a short post asking for a little DMing tip, where they said, what I mean is, what's your particular move? Do you have the players roll new characters? Do you have them pick up where the last group died? Do you just abandon the campaign altogether? What do you do when everyone in the campaign has died? How do you keep playing? How do you move on? I love this post. It's super short, sweet, just asking for a little role-playing game tip, and I don't remember if this has ever happened to me. Has this ever happened to you guys?
It's never happened to me.
No, Derek.
Where literally everyone in the party is defeated?
No, I think it did happen to us once, Derek. When we were playing, I don't know if this is canon to the module, but when we were running the Dragon Queen Tyranny of Dragons, remember with Justin and Brandon? After the first module, I think our characters just died in some way. I think like my barbarian went out into the wilderness, out in like some frozen waste.
An owlbear.
Oh, that was never confirmed.
It was confirmed. We found your axe with the owlbear.
I mean, I could have lent it to the owlbear.
Okay, we didn't see the body, I suppose.
Yeah, there's no body.
My guy was a dragon.
Your axe to the owlbear.
I mean,
my guy was a dragon that was. I'm going to tell my story, and you guys aren't going to interrupt me. It was a dragon who turned in. It was cursed, or not cursed, but whatever, into a dragonborn, and then he was redeemed at the end of the story and became a dragon again. Now you guys can interrupt me.
Now it's not interrupting.
Well, I'll start talking and you guys
okay, there we go.
Okay,
it's perfect timing. so like my druid, and anyway, I think for the second part of the second half of the story, the second module for that that pre-made whatever, I think we rolled up new characters, and it had us kind of like we didn't pick up where we left off. It was like we picked up as being selected as like emissaries for our individual like race, like it was like a council of races I think were coming together to try to like figure out what this threat was, and we were just kind of like picked by our delegates to be like, you're gonna be the adventurer for the elf group, you're gonna be the adventurer for the halfling group, and y'all are gonna go out and try to figure out what's going on.
Okay.
So that was one way we did it. We picked up just same storyline, new perspective.
Yeah, and I think that's just because we wanted to do new characters. Also.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't remember how that officially goes or not. It could have been that maybe our original characters were supposed to become those, but we just, wanted something new.
Yeah. And I've always been happy to have new characters. I've said this a couple times on the show that whenever I was growing up learning how to play D&D, it was with my scout troop, and it was a different adventure literally every single camp out. So I was always making new characters, and once we started playing longer form games in high school and in college, and today, like a character dying like means nothing to me, and I'm always ready to roll up a new one.
Yeah.
But a character doesn't even have to die for me to want to do that. Like Gerard just said, I'm hanging up my adventuring boots and I'm going to stay here and be a vigilante. Like, and that was it. So I know that he doesn't work in the party anymore if that's the choice he's making, which means I get to make a new character.
Yeah, that was fun.
But it's really different, I think, if the entire party is killed at once. So first of all, do you think a total party knockout is ever, like, a good idea?
I think it depends on the group. I was supposed to say, like...
Like, I guess, do you ever plan a total party knockout?
No.
It feels like if you're planning a TPK, then it's, like, a railroad plot moment. Not to say that all railroads are bad, but it's a railroad plot moment where something is going to be revealed afterwards.
Yeah, that's one of the ones where I did like the split. You guys had two characters, and then one character like became like you guys were like fighting a lich-like character.
Yeah.
And I was going to have you guys lose, or not really die, but maybe just be corrupted or something like that. Essentially TPK, but then it just continues as you guys are evil characters. So I don't plan a TPK unless it's part of the story.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like if you're a DM and you're just planning a random TPK, just I guess force your people to reroll. Like, I guess if you really hated all your characters' all your players' characters, like you could do it, but it's like, there's a lot better options than.
Like, there's no way to make that seem... I don't know.
Demoralizing.
I think... Exactly. Like, that's just the DM saying, I hate all of your characters. Try again.
Yeah.
Like,
and even then...
Oh, like, no, you all got trapped in a lightning storm. How wacky that all of your characters got struck by lightning and died.
Yeah. I was going to say, even then, like, I just, like, oh, yeah, this is his twin brother, that is exactly the same. Like, there's nothing stopping me from just playing the same character under a different name or whatever. I don't know. Like, it doesn't really fix the problem. That's what they're going for.
Right. I think, Poster, what you need to do is see what your characters want to happen. Like, we've had an episode in the past about fudging dice rolls and about making your dice work for you and work for your group in the way that you want it to work. And we have taken the stance that fudging dice rolls is occasionally okay if, in my opinion, if you're avoiding a situation like an accidental TPK.
Yeah.
Like I think I even said this back in the episode. If Link's adventure is to defeat Ganondorf, and then Link dies in the final fight, well, the game doesn't just tell you, well, you're done. Credits roll and you're not allowed to play the game anymore. Like, that's not how that works. It's going to bring you back to a place where you can go back again and try to win again. So role-playing games, like, maybe they should be like that. If your entire group, if you have a TPK on a big battle, maybe one thing you could do is just rewind and say, hey, let's try this battle again. Y'all should make better choices this time.
Yeah, I don't think TPKs just happen by accident. Sure, there's like dice rolls and stuff, but the DM is literally like God. Whatever the DM says, it suddenly is.
Right.
So, like, there's in no situation a place where you could get into with a TPK that a DM couldn't, storytell the way out.
Yeah.
If that's what they wanted to do.
Right, if it's what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if the DM created a challenging but fair encounter and then, a couple well-placed crits against the players and a sneak attack made against the player because they weren't aware of a trap or whatever, like I feel like it can happen, especially if everybody's rolling up front in public, on the public tray. I mean, Derek, when we were playing Mage last time we were together, you saw one of my 10s explode 3 times.
Yeah. So,
like, dice flukes do happen. And in that case, what can the DM do besides, I guess, completely fudge the enemy's stats on the fly in order to make somebody not die? But,
well, I mean, maybe they're just knocked out, or maybe someone comes in to, like, get out, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I feel like there's any number of things.
Or, like, they kill one player, and maybe at that point the other players should start looking around and being like, okay, our chances of winning this encounter just went way down.
Mm-hmm.
Because we just lost a whole player's worth of action economy. So, try to get his body and run, or cut off his finger and run as fast as you can. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think maybe if you want to run a campaign where that is a very real possibility, I think, it's a session 0 thing of like, hey, I think I've said this before where it's like, when you have that session 0 talk, that should kind of set the base of like what the DM is kind of wanting to play and what the players are wanting to play. And but I think if both sides are like, yeah, we want a like open roll,
no mercy,
yeah, like don't baby us, but like don't, of course, go Elden Ring hard mode, one hit kill, TPK kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, like, if you want us to have a challenging fight where it's one of those situations where it's like, no, maybe you're not supposed to win, maybe you are supposed to run, and that's kind of like the story point is he's too strong, we must retreat and find another way to stop him. Because it's like, that's the story. But if you stay and fight, maybe you will beat him, but maybe it's going to be a TPK. And that's something that, like, if the party, I feel like, agrees to at the beginning in a session 0 of, like, we are okay with TPK if it's from our own decisions, then, it's like, well, TPK, and I would... Where you go from there, though, is tough.
I think where you go from there is almost like another session 0. It is going to be a reset no matter what you decide.
Yeah.
No matter what you decide after the entire party is killed is a reset. It is a starting something new. So I think at that point, you as the DM, because remember, DM, it's not just your game. Everybody's game. And everyone should have input onto how this story is told. So maybe it's a vote or just a conversation of what is y'all's interest in continuing with these characters against this bad guy? Because if there's interest, if there's interest in completing this story, then, give me until our next session to come up with more stuff, more ways to have brought you back, or I don't know, have the bad guy have saved or preserved your bodies in some way. Or the news of their defeat has reached town and a new band of adventurers has rallied. Or something. Like, the story can continue, but that's a choice that everybody has to make, not just the DM. And the story could end. But again, that's that's a choice that the entire group would need to make also. Yeah.
Imagine all of us being in our 30s. It takes 4 months for us to get to play one game. And it's just like that's how we spend our days, getting TPK'd. And it's like, okay, well, I'm not super interested in doing this anymore.
Yeah.
If you're the DM and you're playing the kind of game that I was talking about before, where it's like, hey, we're open roles, nitty gritty, like hard mode, I think the DM should ahead of time have that kind of what if scenario planned out. Like,
okay,
all right, well, if we're playing this and it is a possibility, it's better to have just a quick, if they want to continue their current characters somehow, then it's like, okay, they were knocked, but they weren't murdered, like they were just knocked unconscious, downed, whatever, and they wake up in the big bad's dungeon.
Maybe they all have phylacteries stored at the local temple back home.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. If you go into
Divine Intervention is the easiest thing.
Yeah,
Divine Intervention is an easy go-to, which frankly, it's one that I love. I love to fulfill ancient prophecies.
Yeah.
And to be the chosen one. I love that shit.
Yeah. But I actually like the whole, like, well, you die, you respawn back at a safe zone. I mean, that's yeah. Very, like, I feel like, right now with all the isekais in anime,
yeah.
I've seen several where it's like, oh, you die and you just, we all have like a soul stone basically linked back to wherever we last stayed ourselves, and our soul just, the goddess of this world just revives us somehow. I don't know. But yeah.
Here's a fun idea.
Now there are players who will say, like, well, that takes all the tension out of the game. It takes, whatever. And
that should have been communicated to begin with of like, well, I don't want that. The group doesn't want that. Well, then, yeah, you won't have that. That's kind of like, you got to kind of know the group.
And I guess once the bad guy faces the same adventurers twice, then the bad guy is going to know that they have some way of coming back to life even if they kill them. And is going to start working on how to stop that from happening too.
Yeah.
Sorry, Derek. I know I interrupted you. Go ahead.
I was going to say, here's a fun idea. The TPK happens, you die, you open your eyes. It's that morning. You've just gotten a premonition of the day to come.
Ooh.
I was thinking that exact same thing earlier, Derek, when we were... I was thinking, like, when Travis was talking about, like, well, that didn't go well. Let's rewind it and try again with new choices. I was thinking, like, maybe it's like someone had a final destination, the plane's gonna blow up kind of thing,
yeah.
they have a
prophetic dream.
Yeah. just a vision.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
I really like that idea.
Or
that's really smart.
Or
okay, listener, that's our new go-to.
Yeah, I mean it's a good one. Like I said, or if everyone's down for it, it's like, well, I like Travis what you said. It's like news of the big, well-known adventuring party has been slain, and then now it's up to the plucky underdogs that were like, we're bronze level adventurers, and like those platinum diamond dudes just died. It's like, well, there's still the whole Demon King army out there, and people are fighting it, but we're not there yet.
Now it's up to the city guard to do their jobs.
Yeah, it's like, we're not there yet. We will keep leveling and try to get there. It makes you think of like Goblin Slayer. There's a whole big demon war going on like the front line somewhere, and all this stuff is going on, and they're like, hey, you'd be a good help up to the front lines. Nah, goblins. I gotta keep killing these goblins around here. It's like,
yeah. So I think that's our advice. There is, you need to gauge how invested your current players are. Where do they want to go with the game? Do they want to try the fight again and make different choices? Are they ready to pack it up and try something new? Those are what we think. And in terms of a go-to move, I love that idea, Derek, of waking up with a bad premonition. I've got a bad feeling about this, and realizing that something bad might happen if you make the same choices.
I had a whole idea of a campaign like session or whatever. Not necessarily an arc, but like you guys would, I don't know which campaign I was going to like throw this into, but you guys were going to assault this fortress or whatever. And like the night before, you guys are met by some kind of soothsayer type of person or whatever, and that's basically confirming like your start point or your restart point. And it would just be an absolutely brutal like siege that you guys try to get through, and you guys would like die, and maybe like one person would get dead, and you just have to keep going until all four of you died, and then you reset the next morning, and it's just like a Groundhog Day of trying to siege this tower before like the whole world ends or something like that.
It's a trope it's a trope because it's been repeated a few times, but damn it if it's not a really interesting one.
Yeah.
The Adventure Zone did it in that arc.
Cave one, the mines.
It's called the 11th Hour.
The 11th Hour.
Was the arc.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
I was thinking of that exact same thing.
I mean, check that out, listener. If you want a really great Groundhog's Day D&D adventure, it's really awesome.
Time loop tropes are they're probably like top 2 favorite tropes of all time. I love them so much.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, Derek.
I cannot get enough of them.
Kristen hates them.
I know.
Absolutely
she's
despises time travel.
You should watch, there's a horror movie where it's a Groundhog Day situation. Happy Death Day.
Happy Death Day, yeah. Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day 2.
Yeah, I like those.
You have my attention.
Yeah.
All right, good ideas. Okay, Randy, what is our Patreon address?
Patreon.com/MyMythicalMeta.
Perfect. Derek, how can people contact us with their own News from the Warfront questions, or if they just want to contact us for ideas about the pod or questions in general?
Okay, you want to pick up your rotary phone, you're going to type in My Mythical Meta. It'll go directly to us. So one of the four of us will pick up, and we will take your letter down. The way you can really do it...
Click. Yeah.
The way you can really do it is go to mymythicalmeta@gmail.com.
Perfect.
Someone gets it. I don't know. It's not me.
It's me. If you want to start a secret affair, start it at mymythicalmeta@gmail.com, where you will be swiftly denied and redirected to patreon.com/mymythicalmeta. That's where I host all my affairs with paying members.
Real stands spend money. Show us you want it.
All right, thank you guys for listening, and Randy, Derek, thank you guys for being my great friends. Adios.
Later.
Goodbye.
This episode was sponsored by Eldorado Gaming. Use the promo code META for 10% off your order. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. This episode was edited by me, Travis Konishek, and our intro and outro music is by Tyler Heath of the Oh Hellos.